Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We'll get going in a moment or two. Just a quick bit of housekeeping before we start. Could you make sure you've got headphones on and put yourself on mute, at least to start with? I'll ask you to come off mute a little bit later. See you in a minute. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We'll get going in a moment or two. Just a quick bit of housekeeping before we start. Could you make sure you've got headphones on and put yourself on mute, at least to start with? I'll ask you to come off mute a little bit later. See you in a minute. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We'll get going in a moment or two. Just a quick bit of housekeeping before we start. Could you make sure you've got headphones on and put yourself on mute, at least to start with? I'll ask you to come off mute a little bit later. See you in a minute. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We'll get going in a moment or two. Just a Well, this is interesting, watching myself speak. We're going to have to wind this back and see what it looks like on all the different platforms. I'm just going to do a couple of screen grabs while I'm waiting. So let me do capture previous area on this. Save it. And we'll see where we go from there. So this was me just trying. Hey Robert, thanks.
Hey Martin, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I haven't advertised this particularly well, but I think a
Hey,
couple of
not a
people.
problem. I mean, this is one of those things you're trying to play around a little bit. And
Yeah, so I think a couple of people are joining us. Hi
yeah,
Linda, how are you doing? So I'm just wondering whether Ecamm is going to automatically allocate you to camera places at the moment, which it should have done, but I don't think that it is.
is that how you have it set up, or
Yeah, it's how I have it set up, so it should
oh,
automatically
okay.
do that, but it's not doing that. But let's have a go at doing that myself. Let's see if it's going to assign you to guest two. And it is. Okay, so I have been playing about quite a bit with this dual mode because I've been on the alpha team, so I got to see it in advance quite a bit. So it's fairly simple to play about with, really. All you need to remember is that you've got two canvases, and
Yep,
therefore you need to get a bit more organized when you're putting things onto the screen. So I just put a folder in for vertical and a folder in for horizontal, and then it
yep,
becomes just as it normally is for Ecamm. So that's all I'm really doing. So what we've got going on here is actually me and a keynote deck. And really the purposes of this was just to show people different ways of sharing a keynote deck. Because if you try and share a keynote deck in the normal format, i.e. 16 by 9 on a vertical screen, it's going to look like a little letterbox in the middle of the screen. It's going to be completely unreadable. So all I have done really is to organize my keynote deck so that it's a fairly short, wide keynote deck, or short and tall keynote deck. So that deck will look good when I'm on the other platforms as well. And it still looks perfectly reasonable on here in this aspect ratio too. So where else are we, I guess? Let's go and have a look at where else we are. So at the moment I am streaming live to LinkedIn on a LinkedIn event, I've just brought that up on the desktop, so I can see that's happening on the desktop, vertical on LinkedIn. It will also do a horizontal on LinkedIn as well, and I'll come back to that. I can also see at the moment this is live on YouTube in horizontal and in vertical. So if you go point your phone at particularly the YouTube one in vertical, it should come out fine. The LinkedIn one is an interesting one because LinkedIn will tell you that they don't support vertical video in live, but actually it works. And the problem is if you try and view it on your phone live, it comes horribly tiny on your phone, as Robert may well be now noticing, depending on which one he's pointed at. But it will come out horribly tiny on the phone. However, in replay after the event, LinkedIn will play that in full screen on the mobile. So only when the event is finished, which leads me to think that they are moving towards live streaming in vertical. So at the moment I'm looking at it on the desktop version and it's just giving me a cropped version, but it looks very clean and tidy. So if you actually go into another tab and go into LinkedIn and look up Martin McKenna Edinburgh and then my events, you will see what is happening here at the moment. And if you scan that QR code on your phone and look at the YouTube vertical, then you can see what it's looking like in vertical as well. And on the vertical version, what I have done is play about a bit with the safe zones. So there are safe zones for people who stream to TikTok and to Instagram, which take up a whole chunk of the screen, which are not applicable on YouTube and LinkedIn. So you've got a lot more space to play with on YouTube and on LinkedIn. So I have sort of maximized that. What you will find is that there's a little bit of space down the bottom. In fact, let's have a quick look at where the active speaker zones sit. Rather the safety zones sit. So if I look at this one on my screen at the moment with a couple of screen captures, one is the left-hand one is from YouTube and the right-hand one is from LinkedIn, and they are from captures of vertical lives. And you can see that on the right-hand side in particular, you've got all of these likes and comments and all of the activity buttons on the right-hand side. So when you're playing about with your verticals, you just need to bear that in mind, that in particular the right hand side is going to be stuffed full of buttons. So if you go, as I've seen a lot of people already doing, placing your guests all the way across the screen, then your guest is going to have thumbs and quotation marks and all sorts all over the side of their screen, and it's going to look a little bit messy. Hopefully in the vertical version of this, I've just about pushed everything over to one side a little bit, so that it all works properly. And I've just noticed an oddity of cameras going on camera C, where Linda is upside down on my view here. What can do about that rotation? There we are.
I see that. Yes, I
Yeah.
have construction going here, so I thought maybe that was turning me upside down and saying, "Get rid of that noise."
Yeah,
So
well, it
I
could have been.
muted.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say about, I don't know if I'm doing something incorrectly on the YouTube vertical. The YouTube overlays are kind of hindering what I see effectively. So I know you have the background with the live on air image, and then you've got, so Linda is right side up now on YouTube, but it's those are faded, so I don't see those that well at the bottom
Right, let me just sort that
because of the
out.
chat.
Yeah, that's because I've put an overlay over the top of the image there.
Okay, got it.
So now we should be okay now. So hopefully there are no thumbs over anybody's, well, or at least the outlines of people's heads on the right hand side. So let's allocate this. We're going to duplicate I'll duplicate you on the right hand side here.
Oh yeah, much better.
Yeah, and if I duplicate
Yeah.
Linda on the right hand side there as well. So hopefully, when we're looking at this on YouTube, it's just about the thumbs, etc., are just about to one side of you and not covering you up, and we've still got space down the bottom, which is normally where things are popping in.
Yeah.
So we will see what's happening there. We've got a few people saying hello actually in the broadcast as well. So Neil's saying hello. So I could now add things to the broadcast in the
Yeah.
horizontal
I don't know
only
if this you can kind
canvas.
of see what I'm seeing.
Ah, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That just about works then. So there's Neil. There's fewer names. One thing that Ecamm always seems to do a bit weird is I put my placeholders in for comments and then it decides it's going to put them somewhere not quite where I put the placeholders for comments. So let me, if I'm organised enough, just remove that comment, and we'll
So you
see
don't have
how
anything on the top area there, do you?
no,
On
there's
the
nothing,
YouTube. Okay, gotcha.
nothing on the top, but there will be in a second.
Okay, got it.
There's Cameron. And indeed, and you as well, Robert. Let's go back to one where I have got host and guests and something going on. Okay, and I don't know why my camera does that. Camera C. Don't suppose anybody else has that problem, that camera C always seems to be rotated the wrong way up. Sorry about that, Linda. Camera A, green screen off. So again, what we've got going on here is just my very small keynote deck in the background, and it should now be showing up quite clearly and nicely and readable on that vertical format as well, hopefully. What I've also got in there is something that looks very similar, and I'm sure what we're going to find is Linda's going to turn upside down again.
Camera C is a loose agent.
Yeah, I don't know why. It literally in my camera picker in sources, camera C is upside down, and I can't turn it the other way around.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to
Something.
try out here was just to put in a PDF document. So I've got a PDF document of my slide deck, so it's going to look pretty much like what you've seen before, but it's not a slide deck this time, it's a PDF document. So I can just flick through the PDF document on Ecamm, and it should be changing simultaneously on both the horizontal and the vertical. So both my PowerPoint deck or my Keynote deck, or Keynote in my case, are both advancing simultaneously in both formats, and it looks like this is also going correctly on both formats. So this is the latest beta version. The one before, somebody noticed that didn't work. Other things that I've noticed are not synchronized is if I play a video with music in it in two scenes at once, it doubles the audio. So I've not been able to do that. So that's something that I will be reporting back, and I have a feeling that somebody else has already reported that that's the case and that they're working on it. So I just wanted to bring in a few guests, so thank you very much for turning up. I've also got one with active speaker on it as well. So apart from you being tiny down the bottom, then we should also find out, other than camera C there, which is again upside down.
Somebody says, "Is this AI?"
Marty, no, not AI. Yes, Marty, thank you. while I rearrange the size of my thing. So no, this is all really happening. And if you have a look on LinkedIn, under my profile, you'll see this happening in vertical also. So I think it's actually looking pretty good. Have you tried
Yeah.
this at all, Robert and Linda?
Yeah.
Robert, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I actually did. I do a show on Monday mornings called Mind Shift Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. And so this past Monday was the first time that I tried it with. So I typically multi-stream to restream, but in the past I was using the restream transcoding capability, so everybody would see everything full screen on Instagram. But this week I had set up the format so I could create the custom layout for Instagram. And so I did Restream, and then Instagram was a secondary destination on with Ecamm dual mode. And so it was fantastic to see that they were able to get everything. Their experience on Instagram was not cut off um, because we had the dual mode, or it wasn't too small because it's now forcing the horizontal into the vertical mode. So it was great.
So how did that work on? Because I frequently, with Neil, who's watching somewhere, I think, we
Mhm.
frequently are using Restream basically to gather the comments from LinkedIn as well. So that's why we multi-stream to Restream, and then
Yeah,
also do Restream pairing all over the place as well with any guests and things like that. So
yeah.
does Restream allow you to uh, feed it the dual format?
I don't know, and I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
think
Okay.
Restream only allows the individual format currently. That's why they have the transcoding option for you. I don't think they have it set up so that it translates both formats to the appropriate channels. Um, yeah, I could be wrong, but that's my understanding of how it works currently.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. So I was just curious there for a moment, thinking, "Oh,
Yeah.
do you know something I don't know?"
No, no,
Because
no,
I
no. I
hadn't.
had
Yeah.
I used Restream and then tagged Instagram as a separate destination inside of Ecamm.
Okay. Okay. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to have a look back at that. So Restream has an OBS dual format, but not for Ecamm, according to Neil. So
Oh, does it?
yeah,
Because I know OBS has had this dual format for a while, but okay. So if it's
mm,
got it for if it's got it for OBS, then that means it's at the very minimum on the roadmap shortly.
technic-
So
technically possible. I know. I
yep.
know because OBS obviously is open source. That
Yeah.
Glenn Glenn loves every time something happens. He says, "Show me an OBS then," and he's off. I'm sure looking in the back door at what's going on
Yeah.
coding wise. So that's cool. And Linda, if you want to unmute yourself, you'll appear magically in the box. And let us know whether you've tried this or whether you've got a specific use case for streaming in both vertical and horizontal.
Well, I've tried it just a little bit. I'm traveling, and so my use case was to figure out what I can do on my phone and my laptop at the same time. So I'm kind of seeing what's going on as it goes out. Um, I would say I'm in a very slow upload situation at the moment. So I'm not, I, I just get a sense that I need to get in a higher upload and get on my main system and sort some of these linkages out before I can really achieve this as a traveler.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people are going to have problems with is, well, two things. One is the power of whatever machine you're traveling with. So if it's an older laptop and you're trying to multi-stream to loads of different locations, that's not going to be so great. Um, and obviously you're going to need the bandwidth as well when you're doing these things. So those things are definitely restrict us when once, because what we're trying to do is a lot here, and even when you're in Ecamm, if you're just on your laptop, trying to see everything at once is going to be really difficult, because you need a really wide screen to be able to just watch everything going at once.
Yes, I'm waiting for the 42-inch roll-up screen that I can travel with.
Wow, wow! I
Wouldn't
think we're
that
all
be
waiting for one of those.
right?
Put it on the Christmas list already. So Neil's telling me in YouTube that the chat slightly covers the bottom half of the video placeholders in vertical. So he's going to send me
Yes.
a screenshot a bit later. So
Yeah,
let's see
that's
if I.
what I was showing you earlier. So if you look at mine, that's kind of how it looks.
Right. So that needs to
Yeah.
come down a little bit in YouTube.
Hmm.
See,
Yeah.
it looks fine on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn doesn't place chat messages onto the canvas for you automatically.
Yeah, but
They're effectively down below.
LinkedIn is also still in well, like you said earlier, LinkedIn Live is still horizontal even on the
Yeah.
mobile device.
I wonder if I can. Right, I'm going to try dropping in. So on the desktop, yeah. So on the desktop, it appears full screen vertical in the middle of the screen, which looks fine, and the comments are just appearing below, totally below.
Yeah.
So it's not at all touching it. You can turn off live chat in the YouTube app, of course. Hit the three dots on the top right to disable live chat, and it looks nice and clean, says Neil. So
Yeah, but most people are going to want to comment and be a part of
yeah, they're
the.
going to want to comment. I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing I always find with anything on the mobile side of things is, as soon as you want to comment, then your keyboard's going to pop up and cover half the screen anyway, and
Yeah.
so that's a bit of a pain in the neck. But I will have a look at where those comments are coming in and just what they're covering, because I actually think that despite the fact that the placeholders are only a thumbnail size on the vertical mode, that they're still actually pretty clear, providing what you're doing is then bringing people up into a bigger active speaker screen above or something along those lines. And even when I was showing the keynote deck, I think that to have the participants sitting underneath in the area works pretty well as well.
Yeah.
So, any other particular observations on dual mode in general from you, Robert or Linda?
Well, I'm still working out. For example, when I have a movie that plays in horizontal mode, how to make that happen in dual mode or in vertical, because it still crops it top and bottom, and I'm getting that horizontal, which in most cases makes the movie really small on mobile. So I'm still kind of working out what's the best way to do that in dual mode.
Yeah, so I think the answer to that is it's not easy. So unless you've got literally two copies of the movie, let's go to the intro,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to run the intro that you didn't see, but let's show
Yeah.
you. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We'll get going in a moment or two. Just a quick bit of housekeeping before we start. Could you make sure you've got headphones on and put yourself on mute, at least to start with? I'll ask you to come off mute a little bit later. Yeah. So
Well, look what I'm seeing. It still looks pretty good in
yeah, So
Oh,
that's because I have specifically arranged the video so that the
okay.
activity is going on down the
Got it.
center of the screen.
Yeah.
So if I'd got larger words going across the screen, then it wouldn't work. But I specifically made sure that the words
Yeah.
dual mode were appearing directly above my shoulders, so I knew I was going to be okay when I cropped it in. So that's the same video running on both screens. I've just
Got it.
cropped it in on the second screen.
Yeah, that's pretty creative. What did you use to do the dual mode graphics?
So that's done using, well, it can be done use any of the AI tools which are image to video. So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter whether it's, well, it does actually. Don't use Kling, right? Because
Don't use
Kling is
Kling. That was the first
hopeless
one
at
I was going to say. Okay.
text. So it's hopeless at text. So Minimax or any of the Google ones or any of the others will do it. I use a package called Veed, Veed.io,
Yep.
which gives you
Be that.
13,
Yep.
15 different render engines to choose from. So the trick is that you take a picture of yourself. So just use Ecamm if you want to just use the record. So take a picture of
Mhm.
yourself in your office or whatever, and then use that as the first image for a image to video. So that becomes the image that you drop in. You then type
Yeah.
in your prompt, which is just big shiny letters come floating down, and the presenter reaches up and grabs them.
Yeah.
And then you just do a slow fade into you in your office anyway. So
Yeah.
people are kind of blinking away. What just happened there?
Yeah.
And normally the transition, if I just use a slow cross dissolve transition, it happens so quickly that nobody really hardly notices what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome, man.
I
There
see.
is, even with AI and these tools, there's still a need for human creativity to even be able to visualize the prompts and visualize what you want to see. That's where the real beauty in this world, in this age that we're living in, is still going to come from, man. Because anybody can throw
Yeah,
stuff together, but you have to have this, just the creative eye to know what you want, what's going to bring out the emotion that you want, and the result that you want. So that was
yeah,
awesome. I love it. Thank you.
yeah. And I think the other element about that is you learn as you go along what to do and
Yeah.
what not to do. So I've learned very much that you need to speak camera language as well. So tell it
Yep.
that you want a slight bokeh blur behind the presenter. Tell it that
Mm,
you want depth of field. Tell it, and if you tell it all these things, it will do it. But if you don't tell it, it doesn't know, and therefore the result won't be as good. But I have been playing about with another tool called Dub, which is a video messaging tool that
yeah,
you
I've
can
used
use
that in the
within.
past.
Have you used it before? And what it
Yeah,
does
I
is it
used it. I currently use Loom, but I
right,
used to use Dub, and Hippo Video was another one that I used. For some other people, Bomb is another tool that's kind of the same type of deal, but Dub is pretty cool as well.
yeah,
DUBB for those that aren't sure how do you
yeah.
spell it.
And the reason I quite liked it, or I sent a Dub video to the Dub video guys who kind of fell off their chair because they have this sort of 3 second GIF which is repurposed content from the beginning of your video message. And what they tend to
Yeah,
do is lift up a phone, and the phone has got "Hey, Linda" written on the phone or something like that. So the video message, you just get this keep hey Linda" written on
yeah,
the phone. So I did
love it.
it with "Hey Rob," but it was coming down in sparkling letters from the sky. So I think he almost fell off his chair and immediately messaged me back to, how are you doing that? And it's just because it's taking the first 3 seconds of the video, and I made sure that in that 5 second video that it was showing his name coming down from the ceiling and me just grabbing it. And so a bit of creativity goes a long way for a hook as well, I think.
Yeah,
So until of course everybody's doing it, and then it becomes, you know, it's no longer a hook, is it? So, but
Yep. Awesome.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what LinkedIn does with the replays, because up until now it's worked perfectly, but I tried it last week and the replays didn't work on my phone. It just went to a blank screen. So I've been in contact with LinkedIn support, who don't seem to know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to get that one sorted out, but we'll see where it goes. But thank you both for your time today and for showing up.
Yep.
It was just
Thanks
a
for
little
having us.
test, and I will be now going back and having to watch 4 different streams to see what they all look like, to see
Yeah.
where all the little bits are, and wait for Neil to send me through a couple of screenshots, because he's very good at doing that whilst
Love it.
watching things. But maybe we'll come back and see if we can load test this with more people. I'll perhaps get Jill or somebody to
Yeah.
just put out a little advert and say, hey, can we get 8 or 10 or people on, and we'll fill the whole screen. And I
Sweet.
must try and work out why camera C just keeps going upside down on me.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Martin, for tying so much of this together. Um, and it reminds me of earlier days in forming web pages, that where everybody thought, well, you can see the whole page, but then now people are looking at it on the phone, and now you have to think about what the placement is and what's move and then when we added movement, where that movement is occurring and where things are flying in, and so it's kind of that whole thing over again. But really appreciate everything you covered. Thanks, Neil. Good to see you, Robert.
Thanks, Linda.
Well, thank you both, guys, and I'll post a little bit of feedback on the Facebook group, and I will see you in there very soon. But cheerio from Edinburgh.
Really appreciate everything you covered. Thanks, Neil. Good to see you, Robert.
Thanks, Linda.
Well, thank you both, guys, and I'll post a little bit of feedback on the Facebook group, and I will see you in there very soon. But cheerio from Edinburgh.